Okay, so where did I leave off on? I think I left off in Terry. Okay. Terry makes a weird sound in his throat. There have been package robberies from doorsteps, expensive items, 2 homes that were featured on Boomtown. Wait, I think I read this. Wait, what? Wait. Kim rests her hand on my leg again. I think I already... Okay. Okay. A couple was mugged 5 blocks over by some thugs last week too. Josie continues. A couple like you two, like Terry and me, they were told that it was reparations, whatever. Sydney had said something similar to me, but we'd laugh afterwards because it was a joke. Well, I'm sure that wasn't funny for the people being robbed, but it clearly wasn't a mission statement. I wait for them to acknowledge how ridiculous this is, but no one does. Terry shakes his head. There have been a lot of issues popping up since the Verintech deal was floated for this neighborhood. Troublemakers having meetings, planning things, trying to make sure the deal doesn't go through by any means necessary, as they say. Now that it's been approved, we're worried about escalations, especially because Josie works there. Kim rests her hand on my leg again, and the weight feels cloying now. They see the Verintech deal and us as a way of, I don't know, taking what's theirs or something. So we thought, wait. You guys are serious? I thought I look around the room and see that they are. Christ, Kim, it was literally a bunch of neighbors hanging out and planning something fun for everyone. And you're acting like it's leading up to Harper's Ferry? I place my glass on the table and stand up. All 3 of you might consider deleting the Our Hood app because it's clearly making you paranoid. This is what? Terry's voice is low and angry, following the typical drunk bastard cycle. Oh, I don't like that word. Cycle. Ridiculous you think because you went to one meeting with those people that you're down now? You keep saying them and those people when you mean our neighbors, who were just now nefariously choosing time slots for who was going to oversee the bouncy castle. I say slowly, so yes, it is ridiculous. Terry smirks at me, a mean and familiar curve of his mouth upward, and I realize he doesn't mean our neighbors. He's thinking something much worse. Calm down, Theo. We're just looking out for you. Kim told us you've been having problems, and we thought maybe. You told him we've been having problems? I asked him. I told him you've been having problems. I have a job. Oh my god. And pull my weight around the house. Oh god. You told him we've been having problems? I asked him. I told him you've been having problems. She clarifies. I have a job and pull my weight around the house. Oh god. I haven't missed any mortgage payments thanks to the gigs I've picked up here and there over the last few months, but I wonder what she's told these people. Verantech will be hiring soon, and we're just trying to help. Terry cuts in. We have to look out. We have to look out for each other. We're just trying to foster good neighborly relations because we need to depend on each other, to know we have each other's backs. I look down at Kim and think of the day she came home upset. There's just so few of us. When you're depressed and jobless, it's easy to fall in with the wrong kind of people, Josie adds. But they're all talking to my back now because I'm heading out of the living room door. I consider going upstairs, but the thought of being boxed in by Kim and those weirdo neighbors makes me pivot out the front door. I'm agitated and annoyed, and I really shouldn't be, because everything they said was ridiculous. Still, while they'd been worried I was attending some kind of anarchist meeting, they'd been having their own what the heck is that word? About what a loser I was. I stand outside on the stoop for a minute. It's dark out already, but still hot and humid. Kids are heading home in groups of 2, 3, and 4. The whir of bike wheels and flash of spoke reflectors. Oh, that has to be a typo. And flash of spoke reflectors speed by. Sydney's house is dark. She's probably still at Mr. Perkins' place with her friend who lives down upstairs from her. I do what I always do when I'm frustrated. I walk for blocks and blocks. I wander down streets with names I can't pronounce, with housing styles ranging from squat 2-story colonials to grand brownstones with all the bells and whistles, to old pre-war tenements with dozens of apartments, to housing projects. Lots of new construction too, in the same bland, modern style. I'd worked on a few sites for condos like these, and after dating Kim, had been friends with people who could afford to live in them. These were the kind of people who called people, oh my god, so many freaking people who called people trailer trash in one sentence and complained about leaks and thin walls in the next. The same problems that plagued the trailers I grew up in. My mom now lives in a beautiful trailer that beats most of these condos, and it doesn't cost $500,000 either. I'm always hyper aware of my surroundings, but tonight I'm on edge, tuned in to how people in the neighborhoods I walk through look at me. A group of dudes my age, all black, sitting on their stoop, nudge each other, and one of them laughs like jicama going over a grater. A couple of streets down, an older woman eyes me cautiously and gives me a wide berth, as if she can tell there's something dangerous about me, though she nods a greeting when our gazes meet. As I pass another group, boys and girls in their late teens, all sitting on a park bench in one of those green spaces that pop up randomly around here. One of the boys calls out, "Have a good night, bro. Have a good night." I can't tell if he's buzzed and feeling overly friendly or making fun of me, maybe both. I reply with, "You too, man," and keep walking, trying to shake the weird feeling I've had since I left the house. I'd been in a good mood for once after leaving Mr. Perkinson's. Like I could be part of this neighborhood and create some snapshots from my own personal photo album, but Kim, Terry, and Josie have gone into my head, so I'm walking around paranoid and jumpy. I have to wonder if this is what Kim feels like all the time, constantly suspicious and thinking that everyone is out to get her for no reason. I do have reason, but none of the people I've passed are a source of worry for me. I do have reason, but none of the people I've passed are a source of worry for me. I decide to make my way toward the bar, a few blocks down. from our house, where they sometimes have jazz on Monday nights across from one of the pawn shops I've been to a few times. When I arrive, it's quiet outside, so I head in and take a seat. It's darker than I remember, a polished and clean version of the drive bars I've used to frequent instead of jazz, an old Radiohead album is playing. Each stool is occupied by a white dude with a beard. They all turn and look at me as the door slams shut behind me. The bartender saunters over to the end of the bar, a cute short girl who I recognize as the college kid who rents from Mr. Perkins. "Hey neighbor," she says, batting her eyelashes at me. She seems to be going for the smoky-eyed, manic, pixie dream girl look tonight, and personality too, judging from how she leans invitingly over the bar. "What can I get you? Beer? Bourbon?" "I actually came for jazz," I say, "but I think maybe I have the wrong bar. There's something about the way this place seems manufactured, like a hipster hard rock cafe, that makes my skin itch. Even the customers fit a mold. Every guy at the bar is dressed in the same variation of graphic tee and dark denim, slouched over a beer or phone with the same curve of his back. It's weird." "Oh, that was the last place. They closed down a couple weeks ago. That sucks." She corks a brow, "Doesn't it? We don't have to go all the way to Fort Greene to find a chill place now. I thought the old place was more chill than this prefab drive bar, but I'm annoyed and don't feel like talking to this kid anymore." "Right." I scrub a hand through my hair, nod, then point at the door behind me. "I'm going to head out." She leans forward a little more, and the heads of the dudes lining the bar swivel to check out her ass. "See you around." I heave a sigh and walk back, the humid air clinging to me, along with an even crappier mood. I'm not drunk or even buzzed, but the 2 glasses of bourbon paired with the disappointment of the night were just enough to leave me feeling sullen. I glance into dark windows as I walk, noticing how almost all the newly renovated places I pass have cameras pointed out their front doors now. Kim had wanted to get one of those systems too, but I told her I didn't want her to be able to monitor when I leave and enter the house from the comfort of her home, though I doubt she cares enough to bother. I'm passing by the old hospital and stop to casually look through the fence surrounding the building. There's all kinds of construction equipment littered around the place, and I wonder what's inside. Had they already cleared everything out? I hear a noise like scraping metal and lean closer. The building is dark and weak, and the weak yellow-orange glow filtering from the streetlights barely illuminates the area past the fence. The windows are nothing but uniform back, but then a thin line of light flickers everywhere in the depths of the darkness on the floor that's slightly lower than ground level. I blink a couple of times and lean closer, squinting to try to catch sight of that weird flicker again. A hand clamps down on my shoulder, and a second later is followed by a heavy weight slamming me into the fence. A body. The chain link rattles as instincts kicks in, and I struggle to pull my hands out of my pockets to fight back, but my attacker is big and wraps me in a bear hug. Then strips of warm grimy metal press a diamond shape into the side of my face as the weight slumps against me, a heart hammering against my shoulder blade, and breaths coming fast and shallow. Whoever it is smells like pissed pants and body odor, and I suck in breath through my mouth to avoid gagging. Ugh. A deep voice mutters in my ear, but the end of the word is clipped as a violent shudder passes through the person vibrating through me and the chain link. I force myself to relax, sagging into the fence, then push back hard as soon as the grip loosens in response, catching them off balance so they stumble away from me. When I turn around, already squared up with a rage in my veins that I've avoided for years now, I see a heavy-set black guy in a t-shirt and jeans reached for me as he sways on his feet. He grasps at me a few times but comes away with palmfuls of air as I step out of reach. I imagine Kim giving me a smug look and telling me she tried to warn me. I knock this... Oh my god, I can't even freaking read. I knock his hands away as he reaches for me again. What the fuck, man? I grit out. He lists sideways, then struggles to right himself, the street light glinting in his dull face. It's then that I notice how delayed his motions are, how his dark irises have been eaten by the blown out black of his pupils. He squints at me and slurs something that sounds like mummy. What? He thrusts his hand toward me, closing and then opening it, and I finally understand. Money. I snort a laugh of frustration, and he shakes his head, then nods. Sorry, pal. He talks again, still sounding like he's speaking around a mouthful of marbles. Bring money, help me, man. I sigh and drop my guard a bit. You can't just grab people like that, and sorry, I can't help you. His eyes widen in confusion, shining with tears. Please, please. Oh, this is sad. He really isn't in good shape. Do you want me to call an ambulance? Get you to a hospital? He stares at me for a moment, his eyes briefly focusing, and then he grabs me by the collar and slams me against the fence again. No, no, no. He shouts directly into my face, so close that I can tell he hasn't brushed his teeth for days, just before his spittle lands on the corner of my lip. I'm about to land a blow to his kidney when the sudden high-pitched warning blip of a siren down the street drags his attention from me. Oh, this is not good. When red and blue lights wash over us, he lets me go and tears off, running ungainly and stumbling. A black sedan and an undercover car pulls up to me as I'm adjusting my collar, and the man in the passenger side, a white guy with a beefy face and a buzz cut, rolls down his windows. The barest hint of cold air passes over my forearm as I step closer to the car. You see a big man, crazy crackhead around here? He says. Giant black guy. We got some reports of a man hassling people. His partner, an Italian-looking guy with a mustache, and leans forward and fixes me with a stare. I point down the street and see that my hand's shaking from the adrenaline rush. He went that way, attacked me when I wouldn't give him money. Is that so? I can't help themselves, I guess. All right, we'll bring him in. He reaches for a walkie-talkie. You know it's dangerous for you to be out around here this late at night, right? The mustache cop says, give it a year or so. Oh, give it a year or so. Oh. They blip the siren again and then take off fast down the street in the direction of my attacker. My heart is thumping furiously in my chest and my legs feel shaky from delayed adrenaline as I walk toward the house, but I keep thinking about the attacker's eyes even when he has his hands on my throat. He didn't have the look of someone who wanted to kill me, to hurt me, to be honest. He looked scared. Addicted is a hell of a disease. I can't even feel good that the cops showed up because jail won't help that guy either. I regret letting them know he attacked me and sending them after him. Though maybe I've saved the next person the guy might have encountered. I'm a few yards away from the house when I see Kim sprint down the stairs into a car waiting at the curb, an overnight bag on her shoulder. What? I don't call out her name. I just take the additional gut punch, though it feels like a light tap at this point. After the car pulls away, I walk up the steps. As I unlock the door, I look up and to my left into the black square lens of a doorbell camera. What the hell? I head to my apartment, scrub the hell out of my face and hands with hand sanitizer, and stare out the window. Across the street, TVs flicker in various windows. A checkerboard of blue lights, and in the distance, a police siren wails. Huh. Sydney, what are you up to, girl? Chapter 5, Sydney. As I brush my teeth with one hand, I have my phone in the other, web browser open, scrolling through search results for why does it feel like my bed is shaking when I fall asleep. My other searches this morning was have been earthquake plus Brooklyn and do demons shake your bed. So whichever NSA Brad is collecting my Google searches is probably having a good laugh. I, on the other hand, am so tired I want to throw up. The only non-spiritual explanation in the results is that high stress levels and overconsumption of caffeine can make the sensation that your bed is shaking, like how you sometimes feel like you're falling even though neither your body nor your bed has moved. I place the phone on the edge of the sink and finish brushing my teeth. My phone buzzes and a text message pops up. Hello, Miss Green. We're messaging you with a lucrative offer on your house. Please contact us. I trash the message, minty hot rage singing through me as I spit and rinse my mouth. These vultures can even harass me by text now. It's like real estate psychology warfare. They bombard you with flyers, blow up your phone, have people showing up at your door, and now can show up in your text inbox. Text inbox. How many people do they wear down or catch in a moment of weakness or desperation? I apply my under eye concealer with shaking hands, not wanting to deal with questions at the hair braiding shop. 5 hours of someone tugging at your scalp is bad enough without every other person who comes in commenting on how tired you look. I head into my room and open the sealed plastic bag that contains my clothes. After the first couple of bedbug scares, I'm not taking any chances. I check the baseboards of the apartment and the furniture every few days now. Drea says I'm being crazy, which isn't my favorite descriptor after what happened in Seattle. But she's seemingly immune to them. She doesn't have clusters of cocoa butter resistant scars marring her neck and ankles. She doesn't start itching every time she sees a tiny dark mote from the corner of her eye. And she doesn't lie. In bed at night wondering why the mattress out on the curb are quickly being followed by moving trucks. I do. I lock up the house, cringing as Josie yells at her kids or her dog or her husband, and head to the community garden to make sure everything's good. By the time I get there, I'm already sweating through my t-shirt. It's hot and humid, and there's no way I'm walking all the way to the salon in this heat. Miss Candace is in there with Paulette. She's picking some tomatoes, lettuce, and peppers from her plot. from her plot, dropping them into a basket in Paulette's lap. Paulette's dark eyes lock on me as I stop at the entrance, but she doesn't say anything. Her gaze strays toward the tool shed. Then she looks down. You're imagining it, I tell myself, though more beads of sweat pop up along my hairline. The shadows of the sunflowers sway back and forth over the two women. Everything good? Do you need anything? I ask. Candace looks up at me and gives me a warm smile. Everything's good. We're getting some salad makings for the day club cruise lunch later. Isn't that right? She glances at Paulette, who doesn't respond, then looks back at me. What you up to? Heading to the beauty supply, then the braid shop, I say, and then working on the tour some more. Oh. She rests her hands on her knees, examining me, and I know the concealer isn't doing its work. Stay safe, okay? She told me this countless times since I was little, but this time it seems like an actual request. I will. I look over the garden one more time before I turn to leave. All the plots, except the one I'm tending, are thick with green and red and orange foliage. Honeysuckle climbs over archways, shading the gravel pathways. Sunflowers, mommy's favorite, stand tall and heavy, headed along the black edge. The 3-block walk to the beauty supply to pick up my hair feels like I'm moving underwater. It strikes me when I'm walking that several of the stores on just this short stretch are new. Actually, I want to turn on the light. Yeah, I think that's better. Are new. The West Indian fruit and veggie store is still here, as are the patty shop and the nail salon. But the pet store where I got my first goldfish is gone. The barber shop where older men used to congregate and play jazz records is now a home goods boutique. And the halal market is a thrift shop that has price tags more expensive than neighboring stores that sell brand new items. I start walking faster, pushing through the fatigue as a single terrifying thought possesses me. What if the beauty supply is gone? I passed it 2 days ago, but I speed walk that final half a block and feel a sense of disproportionate relief when I catch sight of the pink awning with Beautyland written across it in bold white letters. I step into the air conditioning, out of breath and out of it. I wander through the aisles, my pulse racing for absolutely no reason, and the panic trying to get a tight hold on my sweat-slicked body. But eventually, it loses its hold on me. Hey, you okay? The older woman behind the counter asks me as she rings me up, then gestures towards the fridge near the register. Want to add a Red Bull? This store has been here for years, and this woman has never asked me how I was doing. I must look a mess, but Red Bull is the last thing my jackrabbit heart rate needs right now. No, thank you. I'm fine. She nods, though her expression shows she disagrees. The salon is a 15-minute walk from the beauty supply since my stylist moved to a cheaper storefront, and I decide to do myself a favor and order an Uber. I'll have to wait 6 minutes for Terrell in his Nissan Altima, but it's hot as balls, and I already feel dizzy from the short walk to the main drag of stores. My phone vibrates and I check it. Terrell has canceled the ride. Okay, fuck you too, Terrell. I mutter, wondering if I really need my hair braided. Then, in what feels like a miracle given the general bullshit that has been my life lately, I immediately get a new alert. Your driver is arriving in 1 minute. Look for Drew in a black Ford Crown Victoria. Someone lays on the horn, and I jump and look up to see the Crown Vic idling at the curb in front of me. He honks again and then again, and I hurry over and pull open the rear door. Drew, an older white guy wearing a Red Sox cap and reflective aviators, looks back over his shoulder at me. Yep, Sydney. I get in and he jerks into traffic, making me almost fall to my side before I can finish getting my seatbelt on. I snap it into place and shoot him a look in the rearview mirror, but he starts staring resolutely ahead, and his aviators reveal nothing. My annoyance starts to grow as I realize there was no damn reason for him to be honking like that when he arrived. I look around the car's interior. It's old with no decorative accents. Instead of the usual air freshener scent, it smells antiseptic. The hairs on my arms rise when I glance at him again. I notice how the hair at the back of his thick neck is cut, shaved close to the skin with brutal efficiency. Oh my god, efficiency like a crew cut. Man, things have changed around here, he says as we roll to a stop at a red light, pointing to a billboard for an upcoming luxury condominium. The ad features a white woman with sleeve tattoos relaxing in a luxurious bathtub, and the BVT Realty logo that can be seen on most new builds around here stamped in the corner. Yeah, I say tersely, wishing I'd had time to put in my earphones. You don't like the change? I grew up here. I don't like people getting pushed out of their homes by rising rent and property tax. I say then, even though I should keep my mouth shut. Oh, he says as the light turns green and he starts driving again. Were you one of the people who protested? No, he laughs. Good, it didn't get them anywhere, did it? Everything about this conversation is making me regret my life choices. So I decide to bury myself in my phone. When I try to navigate away from the app screen, my phone doesn't respond. I stare at the picture of the man in the driver photo. If it's my current driver, he's put on a lot of bulk since the picture was taken. Oh wow. There's a license plate on the screen, but I realized I didn't have time to check it if it matched, since he'd hurried me into the car. The way I see it, it's just Darwin. Survival of the Survival of the fittest. You can't protest that shit. The click of the doors locking echoes in the car. Oh god. Oh my god. The click of the doors locking echoes in the car as a punctuation to his statement, and my hands relatively curl into fists. Why did you lock the doors? I ask. Those are the child's safety locks. They kick in automatically after a while, he says. I glance through the window, willing myself to calm down. This feels wrong, all wrong. But after we pass this corner, we'll be just a few blocks away, and it's a straightaway on a busy Brooklyn thoroughfare. I've been extra jumpy lately, and I had an unprovoked panic attack over a beauty supply shop. I'm probably just being paranoid. You find something nefarious in everything. Marcus's voice echoes in my head. Then you wonder why I call you crazy. Drew suddenly whips a left onto a side street. What are you doing? The beauty shop is straight down this street. My GPS said there was an obstacle on full. Oh god, this is not good. This is not good, girl. My GPS said there was an obstacle on Fulton, so I decided to take another route. Don't worry about it. There's no damn GPS in this car. It has a radio with a cassette deck, and his cell phone is face down in the cubby hole below it. Pull over. Oh, I demand in the steadiest voice I can manage. We're almost there, he says in a calm tone. But like I was saying, it's survival of the fittest. This part of Brooklyn has been riddled with crime for decades. Drugs, shootings, thefts. We don't have these problems where I live because we understand the order of things. We followed the law back when I was a cop. Oh no, I hated patrolling this neighborhood. Oh, pull over. I searched for the lock on the door next to me, but there's a hole. Oh no, my god, oh no. But there's a hole where it should be sticking out. Sick fear pulls in my stomach as I jiggle the handle, but Drew keeps talking. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I always thought it would be a great place to live if there were just more civilized people, right? He makes a right and the car glides down the street with barely any traffic that's lined with garages, industrial buildings, and half-erected condos. Ugh, I hate that word. My phone screen is still frozen and I try to force restart, but the app stubbornly resists. We pass a couple who've stopped to kiss in the middle of the sidewalk and I bang on the window as we fly past them. But when I look back, they're laughing and she's giving me the finger. They didn't see that I was trying to get help, not judging them for their PDA. Back in the... Oh my god, this dude, man. Back in the day, people didn't take romantic walks out here. It was a good place to chat with people who didn't understand civility and make them understand. He laughs as if he's reminiscing about something benign. But I guess that's the stuff people call brutality these days. People who don't know what it takes to keep us the community safe. I'm digging in my purse for my keys. I'm gonna have to jab one into his neck on the right and then reach past him on the left for the master lock. I am not dying in a motherfucking Uber at the hands of a Sox fan, no less. I slide the keys down my knuckles and flex my fingers around them, my heart thumping and my hands tingling, preparing myself to strike, but then the car pulls to an abrupt stop and I jerk forward and then back. Oh, my keys punctured the leather at the back of the seat, leaving 2 small rips. Drew looks back over his shoulder. Location is a block over, but the street is one way. Hope you don't mind walking a little, Miss Green. The doors unlock and I push out of the car and jog off on wobbly legs, not bothering to close the door. Up ahead, I see the flow of human traffic on Fulton Street and jog toward it. When I stumble out into the middle of the sidewalk, stopping short of one of the subway gates, people look at me funny, but flow around me without saying anything. I fumble with my phone, trying to take a screenshot of the frozen page with Drew's info. When I look at the screen, it shows the message letting me know that Taro canceled the ride. What? Shit. I look behind me and the street is empty. Did I imagine that whole ride? No, I can't have. A wisp of seat stuffing is still clinging to my keys. I think about Seattle and Marcus looking at me quizzically. When I asked him about the text I'd seen pop up on his phone and telling me he had no idea what I was talking about. I shake my head and compose a text message to send to Drea. Just had a wild ass Uber ride. I thought the motherfucker was gonna kill me. He knew my last name somehow. Oh, he did? Wait, he did? When did he say that? Sydney. What? I look at the last message Drea sent me in the middle of the night when I texted to see if she was awake after my latest nightmare. I know you're not feeling therapy after what happened in Seattle and everything else, but I can't be the only one carrying this with you. I love you, but I'm stressed too. I deleted the message I was about to send her and pulled myself together. Okay. The car ride was scary, but I have no evidence and nothing happened in the end. I don't need to worry Drea, and it's not like I can get the police involved. I'll send a report to Uber and be more careful in the future. I'm okay. I'm not okay. I call mommy and feel a bit of relief go through me when go through me when her voicemail message plays. I don't hang up after the beep. Oh my god, is she... Did her... What? Something scary just happened, I say as I begin to walk. I was ready to use my keys. How you taught me, though. He really had the wrong one. I'll see you soon, okay? I get to the shop and stand in front of the window covered with glossy posters of black women of all shades supporting different braided styles, and see myself reflected, phone pressed to my chest to still my racing heart. To still my racing heart, expression wild and unfamiliar. Breathe, Sydney. Get it together. A white couple walks past behind me as I take deep breaths while pretending to choose a style. Yeah, guess we're never going in here, the dude says. What? Can you imagine? What are you talking about? Maybe I'll get some of those Kardashian braids. His girlfriend says. They laugh, and then their reflections are gone. Survival of the fittest. I go inside. 4.5 hours later, Sandrine, my hair braider, taps me on the shoulder for probably the 15th time, and I jerk awake. In the background, the low shouts of drama as a real housewife of somewhere flips over a table on the television filter through the small, clean 3-chair salon. Here, her Malayan accent softens the R in the word. She presses a cup of coffee from the nearby Dunkin' Donuts into my hand. The mailman who always flirts picked it up for us. Yours is light and sweet with hazelnut flavor. Thank you. I lift the cup to my mouth to cover my yawn, then work at the plastic lid. I'm sorry, I keep falling asleep and making it harder for you. I take a sip and let the impending sugar crash flood my taste buds. I'd vaguely mentioned not sleeping and had a bad experience with my driver when she'd noticed how shaken I was earlier. I'd fallen asleep because I was tired, but also because I had kind of shut down after the adrenaline rush. She laughs softly as she separates some strands from the pack of brightly colored hair I picked up. If you're so tired you can sleep through getting your scalp pulled, oh my god, then you must need the rest. I'm almost done. I raise my brows dubiously. I'm not falling for that. You'll have me getting all excited to get out of this chair, then start splitting the same 1-inch tuft of hair into 50 braids. She sucks her teeth playfully, which doesn't ease the pain as her knuckles dig into my forehead as she starts to braid one bit along my hairline. I wince and send up a prayer to the god of edges that she doesn't fuck my shit up. When my teeth are no longer gritted, I say, thanks again for fitting me in. It's all good, but I have to give you my new number because next week I'm moving to a new shop. I glance at her reflection in the mirror to gauge whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. Her fingers move with a rapid efficiency that's its own art form as she weaves the Caniculin hair with my own, forming thick braids that ombre from black at the roots to teal at the tips. Oh, that sounds pretty. Her expression is tight and her lips are pouted out in a frown that isn't her usual expression of concentration. Is it the rent? I ask. Landlord suddenly wants us out. He's selling the building and the new owners don't want any tenants to deal with. Okay. I believe they'll knock it down and make one of those ugly condos. Doesn't he have to give you time? Probably. He told me if we had a problem with it, he would call ICE to do the job for him. Whoa. Jesus. That's... He would call ICE? I'm still waiting for my green card, and I don't want any problems. I'm sorry, Sandrine. It's okay. I'm going to rent a chair at the barbershop around the corner. They have a little room for me to work in, so that will mean you don't have 5 dudes in my face watching you get styled. How's your mother doing? Did you ever call my friend? The home health aide? I regret how much I used to share with Sandrine during the hours and hours I passed in her chair. We actually decided on an assisted living home. I say, the words heavy in my mouth. It hurts not seeing her every day, but it's what she wanted. I visit her as often as I can. You made the choice that was right for you both. Don't feel guilty. I take in a shaky breath and dab at my eyes. Need a tissue? No, I always tear up when you do my edges. I'm fine. Sandrine is quiet after that, and there's nothing but the sound of rich people acting up for the reality TV cameras until the shop door bell rings. Okay, I'll read more. Sandrine pauses to look over her shoulder, sighs, then says, "Can you push the button?" I press the unlock button on the other side of the counter in front of me and hear the jingling bells hanging from the door, followed by the scrape of flip-flops as someone shuffles into the room, slowly without lifting their feet. Hey, Sandrine, and is that Miss Green's daughter? I see why Sandrine sighed. Hey, Denise. Denise knows my name is Sydney, but she just likes trying to start mess and has for years. Girl, you look like shit. Did you wash your hair this time, Denise? Sandrine asked in a tone that's much different from the one she uses to speak with me. My appointment is in half an hour. Jesus. I'm going to wash it now. Denise snaps. I popped in because Sandrine sighs. I'm almost finished with Sydney. How long do you think I will wait? Denise draws her head back to look down her nose at Sandrine. You'll wait just like I have to wait for every other time I come here. I can't argue with that. Even if she does get on my nerves. They stare at each other for a long moment. Sandrine loses and goes back to focusing on my braid. Anyway, I popped in before washing my hair. I popped in before washing my hair because the police swarmed up on Gifford Place a little bit ago. My hands grip at the edge of the seat. Is that what all those sirens were? Sandrine asked casually. She doesn't live there. Only knows me and a couple people who are her clients. Yep, they rolled up to Jamal and Ashley Jones' house and stormed in, pulled up the 4 floorboards in Preston's room. The boy was moving weight, apparently felony weight. Was moving weight, felony weight. What does that mean? My stomach turns. That Preston Jones? That doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna pretend I know anyone's secrets, but his family. But his family is solid, does all right for themselves, and he seems to have a very definite idea of how he wants his life to turn out. I can't reconcile. I can't reconcile moving felony weight with the nerdy boy who regularly showed up at my door over the winter to see if I needed help shoveling, and who always has his face in his books. It isn't that he's too smart to sell drugs, but if he is involved in that, he's too smart to be handling an amount that would jeopardize his future or put his parents in danger. Not a bit of sense, and no one was in the room when they found the drugs either. Don't change the fact that they arrested him a little while ago. He was crying like a baby. His mama is a mess. Oh my god, did they set him up? Part of me wants to get up and swing on her, going around telling the Jonas's business to anyone who'll listen. But when I glance at her in the mirror and see the red flush under her light brown skin and her wide eyes darting back and forth, the urge fades away. What is the proper response to seeing a child arrested? Another child? The upteenth child when you've lived here long enough, and worse, arrested for something you can't be sure they actually did, even if they get found guilty. Denise and Sandrine continue talking, but their conversation fades into the background as my breath starts to come fast and shallow. The police came for Preston. The knowledge that it can happen just like that they can show up and ruin your life, feels like an itch in the middle of my back that I can't reach. Sandrine rests a hand on my shoulder, stilling me. When she speaks, and her voice is gentle. I'm almost done. After what seems like an eternity, but it's likely about 20 minutes, I'm out of the chair and marching back to Gifford Place. When I get there, people are congregating in front of Mr. Perkins' house. Do we know where Preston is? Gracie Todd asked in her crisp Masterpiece Theater accent. She's pushing 80 and wearing a simple blouse and slacks, but with her elegant gray bob and fine bone structure, she looks like an aging black starlet. There's no more cash bail, right? I saw that on the morning news show. Shouldn't he be home soon? Mr. Perkins shakes his head. They can still add bail for what they call major traffickers. And apparently whoever they found makes him a major trafficker, being held at major trafficker bond amount. Rumbles of anger and disbelief roll through the small crowd. Were they wearing body cams, I ask? Mr. Perkins sighs heavily and Count whines at his feet. Apparently they forgot to turn them on. Ugh, how predictable. Preston didn't mess with no drugs, John, Miss Candace says. Fairy in her voice, we all know that. Yeah. Yes, we all know that. Maybe the police know that too. Doesn't change a thing. Mr. Perkins' lips pressed together. How will they pay the bail? I ask. Can we raise money or something? GoFundMe? When I left, they were on the phone with someone talking about the equity of their house. That's why 223 sold, you know. Gracie says the husband got caught up in some charges, assault or something, before the bail reform. He was exonerated eventually, but they had to sell the house to pay for all the legal fees. Goosebumps rise on my forearms, even though the midday sun is scorching and the humidity is strangling. I rub my palms over my arms as I worry my bottom lip. Oh, maybe it was Kim that did that. Oh, you never know. Something about this whole thing nags at me, but grief is running interference on my thought process. Preston hasn't died, and people are already coming together to figure out what to do, but this very well could be the wake for the boy's future. My chest hurts and my head is pounding from the tight braids and sadness. Without saying anything, I step back from the crowd and head back to my apartment, wondering whether it's too early to have some wine. The answer is no.